When approaching a complex problem, what methods or frameworks do you use to gain a deeper understanding of its root causes and find potential interventions?
One of the methods I like to use is 5 whys. And this really came about when folks were trying to figure out the root causes. So we use this a lot when we end up actually running into a problem, maybe in our tech stack or something goes down, and we keep asking the why to dig into questions. And it's probably actually a good methodology in general for curious people. And it probably came from the fact that if you have young kids, they ask these annoying questions where they answer, why does something happen? You answer that and you said, why is that the case? And why is that the case? But I think it actually works really well in business as well as you're trying to figure out the problem to solve. So let's just take an example how we thought about it with InStride. If you think about this increasing income inequality in the United States, that's just a fact that's continued to grow. The rich get richer, the poor struggle, and that's growing. So why is that? One of the reasons is you have inequitable access to quality education. Different people have different education levels. Why is that? Because the cost of education is a barrier to many people, right? So the rich folks can afford great education or move to a very nice district with good schools, and folks that are less fortunate can't. Why is that? Because in many cases, education relies on individual income, or you got to take out loans to pay for it. Why is that? If you think a little bit about it, who's actually the beneficiary of a skilled learner? Corporations. And corporations aren't funding enough workforce education. And so then you say, why is that? And that's because corporations maybe don't see workforce education as a lever to achieve their business objectives. Because corporations are motivated by achieving financial goals or business objectives. And if they don't see a reason or an ROI to do it, they may not do it. So that might be an example of following a chain of problem that you might have started as a really big macro problem, and then breaking it down and really trying to figure out where you want to intervene. Then if you think about, depending on which part of that problem you want to solve, you could come up with very different solutions. For example, if you said, I think the biggest problem is income inequality in the US, you could say, we should just give everybody a universal basic income. But that would be a way of solving that very high level problem. And if you're the government, maybe you could do that. On the other hand, if you said, you know what, actually, I want to solve the next level, which is cost is a barrier to education. Maybe I should just give free education to everybody, right? And so that's a different way to then solve that problem. As InStride, what we did is we followed this chain of these 5 whys, and we said, here's like the problem we want to solve, which is how do we help corporations understand that by investing in their people and invest education, they are actually going to help them achieve their own business results. And our belief is that then it has a cascading effect upwards, that if corporations fund more education, you take costs out of the barrier, which means that more people will have access to quality education, which therefore hopefully will reduce the income inequality